Hey, everybody, it's Jamie from Lemon Rebellion, and I'm just here talking with the wonderful Olivia Mercado, and we're getting into some interesting personal discussions about spirituality and wellness and connection with women. She's presenting at Lemon Rebellion in September and going to do an amazing guided breathwork session on healing deep sisterhood wounds. So Olivia, welcome. It's always fun to talk with you, and hopefully our internet connection will help us this time. Good to see you. Please, for anyone that doesn't know you yet, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do and what you'll be sharing also at our event in September.
Great. Thank you so much. I love you.
Same. Love you.
From Bolivia to Lima. Yay. No, you're in Quito, not Lima. You're Quito, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
A couple countries north.
We were just talking, talking earlier about how cold it is here. So a little bit about me. Well, I love gourmet sandwiches. I'm a seeker. I'm a lover. I hold space for humans who come to me who have forgotten of their light and who are a little bit scared of their shadows. So in a way, it's nurturing the inner child of humans, both men and women. I work mostly with women lately, and just giving that space and holding that space for fear to be present, but also not attaching to it and letting love speak and love heal. So that's what I do. People call it life coaching. I would say that I'm a lover, but then that sounds a bit weird. So I don't normally go about saying like, I'm a lover, just contact me for services. I'm a lover. Because some people are not ready for that.
Not ready for that. Well, and you already know this because I've already confessed to you, but for everyone else to know, I've been lightly following Olivia for so long. I was going to say borderline stalking, but it's not stalking. It's following with love for so long online, because just you can see through the things that you share and the way you talk about things that you are a lover. You have such a big heart, and it's so clear the used a word a little bit earlier, the non-judgment that you have, just the openness and the permission that you give people to be themselves and come as they are. And I'd love to hear more about how you guide people back to love, guide people back to themselves in the work that you do.
Thank you so much. Well, it wasn't always that way. If I learned, and in contrast to that which I was, is now that I choose the path that I take. So I used to be very much fearful, and exactly the topic that I am proposing for this beautiful, week that we're going to have fun and come and connect with Lemon Rebellion is healing the sisterhood wounds. And it comes precisely from having suffered that, from an early age, when I witnessed a lot of deceit and lies, with my parents, especially my father towards my mother. And then I grew up with this limiting belief that I can't trust other women. I can't really open up to other women because sooner or later they will betray me. And to live with a sense of betrayal, to be on guard all the time. Like, is it going to be her? Is it going to be her? Or look at her. Oh, it's probably going to be her because look at her, and then I would allow myself judgments and projections of that fear onto others, whether it was the way that people dress or women would dress or their choice of even lipstick color. Like, wow, that's the degree to which, I would go. And I've done such a deep dive into spirituality and into just understanding the self, understanding who am I, what am I here for, what is my purpose in life. And that has been so healing in my life that I've been able to look at those limiting beliefs and then, realign myself with my truth, which is I don't want to live like that. I don't want a life that is based on fear and being always on edge, waiting for betrayal and for the other, what is the saying, the other shoe to drop.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just not a way of living, and I did live that way before. So my offering during Lemon Rebellion to all these women is first of all, my presence and just this love that I have that is very much a work and a it is it's the spiritual walk of every day. It's waking up and doing my gratitude practice, my meditation, moving my body. I'm a proponent of yoga. I'm a yoga teacher. So yoga is how it looks like for me most often. But I also love to dance. So dance is also a healing practice, and not even name it, just move and just roll with it and feel into my body where the kinks might be and how it all moves because it's energy. And so bringing this presence and this strength, this vortex of energy, and holding that space for whoever wants to show up in love as well and be vulnerable and open up to fear and say, hey, me too. I also experienced betrayal, because I don't know, it happened to me, or it happened to my mother, or it happened to my sister. And this way, when we do open up and we realize that it's just projections of shadows, then we lose the fear and we embrace the love, understanding that we are not our story and we are not broken. We are not here to fight each other. We're not here to compete with other women, whether it's for beauty or wealth or a status in a company, a position in a company, but rather to hold each other as sisters and to rise together in the understanding that it is our individuality that makes us so beautiful.
Yeah, amen to that. That is so beautiful. We have so much to give each other. We've been through, every person's been through something, been through a story, been through a betrayal, through a challenge, had to reinvent themselves. And there's so much that we can share in wisdom and love and support with one another if we don't look at each other as competition. I'm excited about the space that you're going to be creating within the event for us to experience that and maybe even identify some areas in which we can just let down that barrier and connect with each other in more authentic ways.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm excited too.
Yeah, I'm thrilled. Tell us, Olivia, what are some of the things that the tools or the resources or methods or practices, you mentioned yoga is one of them, that have come across your path and into your life and your own journey that have, equipped you and to serve others now in what you do?
Yes, of course. So as I mentioned, it was a soul quest. It always has been for me. Since I was very, very little, I knew, okay, I really want to go deeper. I'm not happy. I'm a mermaid, I'm not afraid of the depths. So
Yeah, awesome.
I like to go deep, and the university of life, as I was mentioning to you earlier, it gave me the right courses. The curriculum is so on point, with experiencing so many adversities from early on and having to, mother my mother emotionally and, understanding why I grew up with an anxious attachment style and all these things that only later on in life, and due to the diligent observation of myself and study of myself and my psyche and my emotions, that I've come to heal. So the first would be adversity. Adversity is a great teacher. When you are when everything there's nothing really there to solve. But I used to have a teacher in university who said creativity can only happen and comes about when there is a need to solve a greater problem. And I was like, huh.
Yeah,
It's
that's
only
good.
when we have a problem. Yeah, it's not like you sit down and you're like, okay, I'm gonna be creative now. No, you need to have an issue. Like, how do I do this? But then you set parameters. Without this, without that, with this amount of money, without the ability to drive my car. And then you have parameters that tell you, okay, it's more conditioned. And because it's more conditioned, you have to be really creative in finding a solution.
Yeah.
So this was early on. And then the body, which is such a beautiful vehicle and messenger of truth, told me, like, I was stressed out, I had pain in my body, and this was pre-yoga, and I was taking a lot of over-the-counter medicine.
Okay.
Then I started to get belly aches, like the pit of my stomach would hurt and it would just like burn. And I thought to myself, I'm too young for this. Like, what's going on? And I went to the doctor. I got an endoscopy. Is it called an endoscopy in English? Like one of those things where you swallow that little camera. They put a little camera down your esophagus and they go all the way into your belly, and it's most uncomfortable. uncomfortable, most uncomfortable.
Mhm.
And eventually the doctor told me that I had the linings of my stomach were very irritated, and he asked me if I took medicine. And I didn't recall it at first, and I thought, no, I don't. And then I thought, well, wait a minute, I do. I take, just Advil,
Yeah.
ibuprofen, paracetamol, whatever, over the counter to ease the pain when my back hurts, because I get really stiff and I can't relax. He said, okay, well, this is affecting you now. If you don't stop now, then this is going to turn into an ulcer. And I
Wow.
thought, wow, okay. So then an aunt of mine invited me to go to yoga. And since the very first class that I went to yoga, I thought, what is this? Like, there was a remembrance. There was ancient memory that was activated in that very first shavasana, that I
Mhm.
came out of it and I thought, this is pointing me in the direction of truth. I'm going where to discover who I am. And so I did yoga. So yoga was the first of those.
Wow.
Reading also, even before yoga, I forgot to mention, I started looking for some of the answers that I had to the deep questions
Mhm.
in books. Understanding, why do I feel sad? Why am I upset? Why am I angry? Like, why am I hating my father? Why am I?
Mhm.
So I read, and then it was yoga. Then I moved to Vietnam, and meditation came into my life when everything was falling apart with work. It was a very unstable work environment. And so meditation brought the tool of governing my thoughts and emotions and finding silence and stillness. And then since then, I've tried very many different styles of meditation. I remember going to the Vipassana and being like, how am I going to shut up for 10 days? I love to talk. I got to do that because I want to see how I go with
What
that.
happens? Yeah.
And I almost quit. But then I thought, no one says I almost did a Vipassana. Either you do it or you don't. Like, it's not like, well, I almost finished. No, so I stuck around and I did it. And it was interesting to learn, especially the teachings, the Dhamma of
Interesting.
the Buddhist ways. Yeah. So meditation, and then and again, life as a university has accompanied all of these moments, right? It was the right moment because my body was in pain. It was the right moment for the lesson of meditation because my mind was exploding. Like, Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, is overwhelming to the senses. Like,
Hmm.
everything you see, everything you hear, there's a bunch of horns and traffic. Everything you smell, there's like layers of smells. It's like a lasagna of smells. Some of them are funky. I've never smelled the stuff that I've smelled in Vietnam.
Okay.
Woo! And then
Interesting.
it would follow with like freshly baked bread, and it's like, whoa, what?
Too many things, too many smells.
Too many smells. And then people screaming, shouting, yelling, even in the elevator. So I was bonkers. I was going crazy. And had it not been for meditation, I would have lost my mind.
Yeah.
And so meditation came, and I learned meditation. And then after that, continued to travel. And then Tantra came into my life.
Hmm.
Before Tantra was Reiki. I
Mhm.
went to a session to receive Reiki because I'd heard, like, just lightly about it from a friend whose grandfather was receiving treatment. And I thought, well, why not try it? And again, it was a remembrance. Like,
Yeah.
wow, what is this? Like, I felt warmth in my chest, and I was teary and crying, and I felt energy move, and I saw colors. And all I did was lay there. So then I thought, this is something very powerful. I want to go deeper. Right. So I swam with my mermaid tail deeper into the ocean. And so that was Reiki. And then I started giving treatments and working and understanding the power of my hand and holding space and being a vehicle for divine intervention, really, because it's not us as the Reiki practitioners. We are limited, but
Mhm.
source is unlimited. So tapping to source and being that conduit of energy was poor. And because energy, pure, clean, white energy was going through me, I was like already in love, like frequency of divinity, right? And I'm still human. Obviously, I still have my moments of fear and doubt and whatnot. But with the light of awareness of yoga and all the tools I've mentioned so far, it's much easier to detach, create the buffer zone, and be able to observe what is going through,
Mm.
and then choose right course of action, right course of words, what right course of deed. And
Yeah.
so in that way, maintaining the alignment and holding my truth as the highest, aspiration.
Yeah.
So, and then after Reiki was Tantra. And Tantra was all about learning how to operate with others. How do I handle jealousy precisely? How do I handle feminine energy that is so potent that it's just unavoidable because, oh, look at that woman, like, whoo.
Mm-hmm.
So a song came to mind. That song that was like, just look at that ass. I work out, It's like exactly like that. I'd be like, girl, just look at that ass. But then a part of me was like triggered, and I'd be like, no, I don't wanna. But the other part would be like, just look at that ass.
And the inner battle.
Precisely that. Tantra was looking at all the fears, all of my repression as a woman, that I wasn't embodying my full-on radiant femininity, my goddess, my Shakti, and then projecting it onto others like a vomit, like, nah, how dare you all be so gorgeous when I'm here being so basic. But then I realized I'm not basic. I'm not basic at all. Like, and there's all these colors, but it's work that, you go into it, you analyze, and then you get to ask yourself, who do I want to be? And so it's been peeling layers and layers and layers of physical, like the koshas, literally working with all of the like the layers of the body, from the physical layer into the mental, energetic, pranic layer of energy and the chakras, into the emotional, mental, psychic, and then going deeper into your karmic, and then into your bliss body, where it happens, this connection to divine. So it all has been a journey through these koshas for me. And so Tantra, learning about how to govern my sensual energy, and then later on, because it didn't stop there, I'm so curious. So then I decided, okay, I want to understand language and casting spells, if you will, out into the universe, because language is exactly that. It's so very powerful.
Yeah.
We create contracts, soul contracts, karmic contracts, and bonds and so forth with the language that we use every single day. And if we're not mindful of the choices that we are choosing, or the words that we are choosing, then we create chaos for ourselves, so that we can live in a world where there is something to solve. Like, oh, look at that drama. I was just having a conversation with another person earlier, and it was that, like, imagine if you would just wake up and life is just absolutely perfect and there's nothing to do because it's all just perfect. It would be so boring. So we go on and recreate drama in order to feel worthy, in order to feel powerful, and so forth, right? It's the nature of humankind. So neurolinguistic programming then was the next training, to understand the language and how the mind works and how to operate with this all. And the soon to be, I don't want to say final, because I'm going to probably learn until the day I die. But the next thing that I want to look into is the subconscious mind, even more so, but from the angle of hypnotherapy. And working with brain waves and receptivity, and how to plant seeds in this phase or state of theta during the meditation, during the hypnotherapy sessions.
Awesome.
So that's just to give you like that was a long answer to your question, but
that's okay. That's fine. That's good. No, and it's great because I know that you're going to be bringing different aspects of all of those things to the session that you guide, as well as at Lemon Rebellion. So I think it's important to know how those things came into your life. And I know you don't want to give away too much about what we're going to do together, which is wonderful because it'll be a surprise. But the idea of just having a breathwork session focused on healing these sisterhood wounds and knowing some of these aspects will be part of how that experience goes, I think is really cool. I'm super curious, super excited. And, before we go, I don't know if you have any kind of last message or something you'd like to share with anyone who's listened today.
What a joy. I am so much looking forward to connecting with all the women, because it is a calling. I believe that nothing really is a coincidence, and we are manifesting. We are manifestors, whether we are consciously manifesting or unconsciously manifesting. We are creating the reality in which we live. And so for the people who are choosing to show up, to turn the computers on, to take a shower, to put mascara on or not, whatever, there is a process behind it. There is energy that is already from now working towards this. And it's beautiful to be able to share. I cannot imagine any other way to live my life than to honor love and to honor space of sacred connection, because I think that that is the essence of who we are. Happiness is nothing other than being able to share and connect deeply from one to the other. If we have money but no connection, it's not really happiness. If we have anything else, houses, horses, ponies, and no connection, even when you're a little girl, I remember I wanted a pony. That's why I remember that. But like, without connection,
Yeah.
without family, we would be nothing. And as sisters that we're coming together, we are family, and we are rising and holding each other and holding space so that we can celebrate each other. So I'm very excited. And I would just, not even advice, but just show up. That's all. That's
So,
all. Just show up and let the magic take over. Let's just remember and honor who we are.
oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Olivia. That's a perfect message. Just show up for ourselves, for one another. Yeah, before we go, Lemon Rebellion, it's September 19th through the 25th of this year. So please join us. It's going to be really a very impactful, experiential, live online experience, bringing together the sisterhood of women who are lifting each other up, showing up for each other, showing up for them themselves to help us work through major life changes. So Olivia, Mercado, thank you again for being part of this. Can't wait to see you at Lemon Rebellion, and we all appreciate you.
Thank you so much. See you there. Bye.